Hi everybody, welcome to my second video done in this platform. Thank you so much for joining me on this wonderful journey of ascension and light realization and sister light and Sophia light codes, Lemuria and Crystalline embodiment. Thank you so much for joining on to the second portion of the introduction of the lineage of light, as well as the different steps of navigating how to work with light magic in the crystalline hemisphere, as well as the Lemurian playground and the Christ consciousness Sophia light source codes. So that was a really big mouthful of information, and you're really like, okay, how do I take that and apply it into like actual process and actual steps and actual maneuvers to actually integrate this into my life. In the last video, we spoke about what the lineage of light was, what the circle of light was, what the angels of light or members of light was, what the temple of light was, and also what the consciousness of light was. In this video, we'll be chatting about what offers and services and platforms you are receiving within these aspects of framework and within each of these parts of the overall ecosystem of LRLDivineMakeHistic.com. And maybe not just LRLDivineMakeHistic as that's the energy in the vessel who's presenting it to you, which is myself embodiment, is me embodying that process. But it's not just that, but it's an energy and it's a life force and it's a prana of divine source realization in a physical form using masculine essence to ground in the feminine divine energy. So we really do see a counterpart of energies of yin and yang coming together and working in fluidity. These premises that you see here are the functionalities of how we are starting to introduce this information and light into our physical being, and then also creating a platform for ourselves to work in and play in and be with, so we can start to navigate this for others as well as ourselves. So the first step, as you guys know, is the attunement, which is the lineage of light. As I spoke before, there should be actually a page that says self-study. So like I spoke about in the last video, the self-study, or if I haven't, I'll touch upon it now, that the self-study is really the interaction and relationship you build with the light codes and the energy and the frequencies and the source codes available to you through the transmissions, through the written work, through the Lemurian angelic light code images that you'll find across the websites. Within the information of the paid for or not paid for light transcriptions, a lot of manuscripts with pure light codes written inside of it for you to decode and work with and refine with to interact your body with this heavenly essence in a physical form. So you're starting to meld your physical essence and your physical reality with these light codes and with the speciality of gaining frequency from a tangible physical representation of this container, this energy, and then you're understanding how to weave it into the physical world. So this is like really the first step of us understanding how spirituality and physical energy comes together, and how spiritual energy and physical matter comes together, and it's physicalizing it. There's a lot of other ways of doing it. There's like yoga, meditations, and everything like that. And that's all very, very important and available to you guys, so you can use it in conjunction. But this is really taking things to a whole different level of real higher framework and understanding of platforms. You'll see the finished product of these pages on my website. As for now, I just really wanted to jump on now and get this information out and available for you guys. So at least you have some context to understand what's going on with the actual program and the whole system provided to you and what the offerings are and how to integrate and come into it deeper. So, like I said, the first step of Lineage of Light, the step one, attunement, is really having your self-study and start looking at the YouTube videos, start looking for the transmissions you can find on my shop, and start integrating those more with you, and then start to build a relationship with the light codes. This could be through the spoken word, it could be through sound, it could be through the images, it could be through the words you find on my website. Just really start to commune and work with these templates more and these timelines more. Understanding what's being taught and understanding the premise and the foundations of this teaching. After you do that, we ask you to probably do it 3 times, not all together. Sit with it, have it work with you. That's why the coaching sessions come in, because it really helps you take that further. We give you some added steps. There's also available on the website that you can do with or without the coaching and practical assessment. There is a worksheet. If you go under I think it's Academy, or you go under Academy, then you're going to see Lineage Light, and then you're going to see Worksheet. And that's just a very basic worksheet just to kind of introduce different ways of integrating with light and with transmission specifically, light codes. So when we're working in this modality of understanding how light codes work with each other and how they're building frequency, and it's more tangible, we start to see that there's a part of our being that wants to work with it more. And in coaching, we really understand what's coming up for you, how are you integrating it, or how's your attunement process occurring, what's your personal life like. And I want to also use the coach opportunity to see on your personal life and then your other bodies of spirituality, what is your starting point, or where you coming into the program with, and what that platform of understanding and realization and working to see how this can be integrated more. And this is kind of starting the integration process, but not completely. This is still attunement. So it's very basic. It's like the precursor of attuning, or it's a precursor of integrating the actual light codes itself. This is really seeing like what is the foundation that these are first becoming attuned into. Because if we are not very conscious and aware, sometimes this is not going to cause pain or anything, but sometimes it can be a little bit jarring. So the coaching sessions are really to help you work through anything that's coming up in your personal life, anything that's coming up in your day-to-day life, anything that's coming up with your mental body, your emotional body, your physical body, your spiritual, sensual, sexual body, these aspects, and just like as a foundation to work with this. The platform, if you wanted to tap into this in addition to the self-study of the Lineage Light, is roughly about 3 to 6 months. Mainly it's really just an assessment and also a help. The 3-month container is just to help you along it, and the 6-month assessment is especially for people who are just starting onto the journey and need help integrating these type of light codes and want to progress into the Sophia training and the Sisterhood of Light training. But you're not in service yet. Or you are in service, but there's a threshold in between. So really working with you in that platform to integrate these codes. So this is like really a precursor of the activations and the material received in the Temple of Light. So this is like helping you in between now and then to see if you are able to integrate the codes, which everyone is, but what is that distance between where you're presently now and where you need to be when you are emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually ready, but not spiritually, but mentally, physically, and emotionally ready to step into such a high framework of light. Not saying that not everybody can do this, everyone can do it, but there is certain things that we need to be responsible for our own being and existence. So really honor the human experience and human life as we're doing this. So that's why the Lineage of Light is so powerful. And then when we tap into the circle of light and the members or angels of light, you'll start to see a constellation occurring there. So the second part of the Lineage of Light is the practical classes. So the practical classes are really fun. So this is where I take my tips and my knowledge of working with light codes, images, scribing. Somewhat scribing. Scribing really goes into the later days, but the basic, but even fun ways of working with light itself and light codes and transmissions and stepping it and breaking it down to each of those parts. So the physical part, the emotional part, the mental part, our spiritual part, our beings, our sensuality, our sexuality, and adding it into each layer and how to work with it more. And it's not the way you think. I know a lot of people are thinking, oh, it's just, no. It's a very different way, and it's very intrinsic. It is very subtle, but it's not the way that we think of because we've never thought of it in this way before. We've never presented light codes in this way before. We presented working with it in this tangibility, in this interaction, in this relationship. So we're really building a relationship with the light codes now where it becomes a union and it becomes an interaction to manifest from. It's not just us giving and receiving, it's us working in tandem to each other to really build what light codes are and activate our being for it. So it's very exciting. We're very excited to do this. And these classes are added on to your coaching package. So depending on how you deal with your assessments, we dictate and see how fast you can move on to the other stages if you choose to. You don't have to go through these processes, obviously not, but the way that this program or this whole ecosystem is really set up is to really give you the fundamentals of change to really succeed and flourish in the attainment of light and the practicality of using it in divine fluidity of the grand scheme of divine unionship and source realization. So we're really working at altitude and alchemizing and utilization of all the available sources of light that's available to us from divine monadic logos. And it's such an intricate way when we look at light and like the light codes that provided to us and light itself, and tapping into each particle, each frequency, and really amplifying and using each source creation to its fullest totality. So this is really important, really powerful, and I'm super, super excited to be providing this for all of you guys. So this is really fun. Thank you so much. I'm going to probably cut this off and then leave this for step 1 services for Lineage of Light. And then I'll get back to you for the Circle of Light. Thank you so much. Much love. Iyo shikado man yoshu.